Welcome back, guys. So today we're going to be doing a video on what we've been doing throughout Valhalla the past couple weeks since Season 3 just dropped. Hope you guys have been enjoying the influence races. They have been fantastic, and I will say they really brought back the open world PvP to New World, and it's been amazing. I love this content. And if you love war content, stay tuned because I'm going to show you what gets you banned off New World's official Discord. Stay tuned for that.
This goddamn point! Respawns get in or we lose. We fucking lost. God fucking damn it!
Now, that being said, I want to give you an idea of what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, what is it, 2-3 weeks now, and how we basically been controlling the influence races. So if you are unaware, influence races, influence pushes happen quite a bit on the servers. They usually last. Now, that being said, I want to give you an idea of what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, what is it, 2-3 weeks now, and how we basically been controlling the influence races. So if you are unaware, influence races, influence pushes happen quite a bit on the servers. They usually last about 45 minutes, usually about half hour to 45 minutes, and they can happen anywhere in your territory. Now, that being said, people are not being very smart about how they're actually pushing territory. So what you don't know is missions actually account for a lot, and I mean a lot, of territory standing when you're doing the influence pushes. Sorry, not territory standing, but the influence actual points. So you can actually finish a territory push in almost 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes if you have enough people. And when I mean enough people, I mean you could do this with 20 people, easy peasy. You could do it in probably about 10 minutes with 20 people. All you really need to do is, if you're ever, I'm trying to find an influence push to give you guys an idea what it looks like. So on this influence push, this is kind of funny. I didn't even try to look at this. So we won again on this, and we didn't even try, which is hilarious for this. So what happens is, if you actually just pick up the missions for the territory and run the missions, and you, let's say you have 10 people and they complete 2 rounds of missions each, you will probably get pretty close to actually completing the race at that point. 10 people doing 3 rounds of missions, 2 to 3 rounds of missions, you're going to complete the race that fast. Not only that, your score will be insanely higher than everybody else, because these guys down here are just attacking. They are, you know, taking points, they're fighting other people, which, don't get me wrong, it is a blast. But if you want to actually win the race and get to deck on the territory, you want to get that #1 spot, you just run a couple of missions. That simple. I think this one we actually didn't, I don't know if we ran the missions here. I think we were just fighting here and we still won, which is kind of funny. I'm trying to find one where we actually ran a bunch of races and show you what the difference is in the, let's see what happened here. Now let me kind of go over what we've been doing as a company on Valhalla. So on Valhalla, when you win a race, you can deck. Right? When you deck, it doesn't necessarily mean that you get the war. From what we understand, it might still be a little bit of a lottery system, but let me just say, every deck that we have put out there, we have won. We have yet to not win a deck when we came in first place. So use that as you will, whether it's a lottery, whether it's for sure you get it if you came in first place, whatever it is, use this to your advantage. This means that a small company, that's right, a small company of 10 to 20 people, 25 people, maybe even less, can win races, and you can really influence the servers. Personally, for us on Valhalla, we were getting a little sick and tired of watching, you know, technical scales basically own a bunch of territory. It's kind of funny. They owned, I think, 5 terries, and in the past 3 days, they sold Windsward to a pro company, which is kind of funny. They're basically trying to push us out because Red Ain't Fair Game is just winning every single influence push. And we're decking on all the territories and we're not warring. Or we're auto-slotting the wars, just to random people go in there and have fun. I will say, I think we've decked 5 or 6 times and we've auto-slotted 1 or 2 times. And the other times we just let it sit. And what we're trying to get at, and we're trying to, you know, push through to these idiots that are still warlogging, is we don't want people to own every single territory. I mean, who owns? We have Bark for Heals, who's got this one? Bark for Heals. Sinaloans. So we got 3, 3. Actually, some ones have 4, actually. Yeah, 4. These guys have 3. They actually sold Windsor to these guys, which is kind of funny. I'm not sure what the deal was there. Now, let me put this out there because everybody keeps asking, why are you doing this to your own people? Why are you decking and not warring you're wasting this content for people that could be warring? Well, yes and no. I understand that some companies that war are not war loggers. I get that. I totally understand. You guys could be upset for a little while. But let's be honest. War loggers have controlled this gate-kept community for the past 2 years, and it's time that the little person, the little companies, get to come up and kind of shove their foot in somebody's mouth and show them what's up. Like I said, I would say we're a fairly medium-sized company. We're between like 60 and 80 members at a time, but usually active, maybe 20, 25 usually on the average. But generally speaking, warloggers gatekeep by making wars impossible to get, unless you have one of the 3. Disc gear, skill, because yes, it does take skill to war. I totally understand that, it does. I've done a bunch of wars. Wars can be fun, and yes, it does take skill. And the third thing is know someone, like a social slot. Now, you can bait this all you want, but these 3 things are basically facts. You need at least 2, if not all 3 of these to get into certain war companies, and let's be honest, if you're in those war companies, then you're probably a war logger. Is Red Name Fair Game gatekeeping content? I would say yes and no. We're gatekeeping content from war loggers because they are not getting the chance to war. I'll show you a little screenshot later about what happens when you gatekeep a war logger. And let's be honest, some people that are not war loggers are getting gatekept by us. But that's kind of why we auto-slotted 1 or 2 of the wars, because, we feel like people should be able to get in there whenever they want. But because we're trying to stick it to the war loggers, we are not filling most of the wars we are getting the deck on. And let's be honest, our gatekeeping is minimal compared to the past 2 years that war loggers have been doing their thing. When there were shell companies, the whole G2G thing, we all know what that's about. If you don't, go look that up, see what that is. I mean, people were always working with other faction, people were always throwing wars. Is this any different than that? No, but the warloggers hate the hell out of it. So I mean, it hurts them right in their souls. And to us, it's kind of funny because our content is open world PvP. Because we've been doing this to the warloggers, they've been coming out a lot more and actually trying to keep us from decking on the territory, thus playing into our open world PvP. So it's been kind of great because we're getting actual quality open world PvP out of those guys. So that's actually nice to see. And I'm glad they're actually, stepping up and coming out and actually doing some work and actually playing the game instead of just logging in for war. So that's good to see. Now, my original objective with this was just to basically shove it to the war loggers, tell them to STFU and, stop owning 6 territories at one time. As you can see, Purple owns a bunch of territories here. Bark's got 3, Sinaloa's got 4, and then Tech's got 3. From what I understand, these guys are probably going to be leaving the server, going to another server because they don't want to deal with our shenanigans. So where this goes, this might all turn purple, which would be sad as hell, but we will see. But like I said before, the great thing about influence races is anyone can win, even with a small company of 10, 15 people. You can 100% win if you play your cards right. If you have 5 people that are just killing players while the other 10 are running missions, and you're helping those 10 run missions by killing players that are attacking them, stuff like that, you can really make a difference in these races. And that's something I want to kind of spread to the other servers. Not necessarily what we're doing as far as, gatekeeping content from other players and warloggers. I would rather, people just win races, get the decks, and do their wars because they actually got the deck. I don't want there to be no wars. I think wars they can be very fun, but I don't think they need to be kept as hard as they are. I feel like if you're a fresh level 60, you should be able to get into war and have fun. Now, whether the New World devs finally release a mode for warring, that would be great. That would probably resolve all these issues. But then again, you have the issues where people are earning money, more money than they can ever even fathom in these cities, especially when you own 4 territories or 3 of the largest ones. They're making a lot of money, more money than you could ever imagine. I would say the funniest thing about these influence pushes and how we've kind of been rolling everybody, and like I said, we only usually have about 15 to 20 people playing at a time when we do this, even though we have 60 to 80 members at a time. We only have about 15 to 20 that actually do these pushes. We have about 10 that do the missions, and the other 10 are killing, or vice versa. And it's funny how when the last race we did, I don't recall what territory it was. It might have been It might have been Reekwater. I don't know if it was Monarchs or Windsor somewhere. Let's see if it was Windsor. Is there a race result? Ah, this is the one, yes. So what had happened here was we came out to win this one. We had about 15 to 20 people. Bark for Heels had about 15, 20 people. And what had happened was Technical, the yellow company, came out to defend them and let them run their missions while they killed us. Because Bark for Heels couldn't handle Red Name Fair Game doing the same thing they were. And Bark for Heels is a company that they'd like the war. Some of them are war loggers, some of them are not. It's a mix in there. That being said, we're just trying to stick it to the war loggers in general on this server, and we've definitely done a good portion of that. But yeah, I actually saw Yellow come out, Technical, with a good 10-15 man crew to attack us and fight us, while Bark for Heels were able to run their missions scot-free. And as you can see, because they were running missions, their points were extremely high compared to everyone else. Jade, again, they understand what they're doing. They're doing missions as well, because you'll never get this many points just by killing people or taking forts and that kind of stuff. Missions are what get you these points. So use this information as you will. Take it to the servers, have fun, shove it to the war loggers if you want. You do you. I appreciate you all. Check out the rest of the video and enjoy some crazy ass content from your favorite war loggers. Enjoy. Now listen, I understand tensions get heated in PvP and New World. I get that, I totally do. But in a Discord where we're all just talking about, war loggers and, things we can do to fix that kind of stuff, I said I'm gatekeeping the gatekeeper, see you on Valhalla, and then I get that kind of response. That's a big oof. I mean, geez, not the right way to go about talking to somebody in the end. So guys, that's what we kind of been doing to Valhalla, and you can see what happens when war loggers get really upset when you mess with their content. Obviously they do this to themselves all the time, but when a little company like us comes up and it really just shows them that I say little, I keep saying that, but we have like 60 to 80 members. I mean, we're Red Name Fair Game. Open world content is what we do. We're not slotting in the wars. It is what it is. What is beautiful about this is you can actually circumvent all this if you come out and do open world PvP, and if you run missions like they showed they could do with Bark for Heels and Technical. If you come out and you do open world PvP, guess what? You're gonna beat us every time, because we're not running that many deep. I mean, you guys, more than enough people that can beat us. We're not saying we're the best, we're just saying right now, you can't beat us. Especially alone, which is fantastic. But like I said, I welcome the open world PvP. Bring your people. I want it. Bring on the PvP. I don't want an easy fight. I want to get my ass handed to me daily to put me in my place. I want that every single day so I can practice getting better. And personally, standing around a point is not making me any better as a New World player. Clump fighting is not the only type of fighting. It is a type of fighting in New World, but it's not the only type of fighting. So once again, I appreciate you all. I hope you enjoyed this content. And I hope you guys spread this across the servers and, go have fun. Take your little companies, your 10-man companies, and go roll some people in open world. Get those decks, do some wars, have fun with it. I appreciate you all. Peace out.